This is AQA GCSE Coordinated Science Chemistry Higher Paper, June 2018, question 5. So, question is about structure and bonding, and the figure shows part of the structure and bonding in diamond. Explain why it has a high melting point. So, a fairly standard question comes up fairly often. First of all, it's worth considering there are lots of strong covalent bonds. You could actually be more specific. Each carbon is bonded to 4 other carbons with covalent bonds. Now, it's also important to say that it's a macromolecular, it's a giant covalent structure. And therefore, lots of energy is needed to overcome those bonds. So there's your 3 marks. Don't actually need to write down a huge amount to get there. On to 5.2, and we've got sodium chloride, and we want to know the conditions needed for sodium chloride to conduct electricity and an explanation. Now, once again, it's a 3 marker, but there's very little to write. 2 of the marks are for identifying the 2 conditions where electricity can be conducted. And that is when sodium chloride is aqueous, which means dissolved in water, or molten, which means melted into a liquid. And why is that for the 3rd mark? It's so the ions are free to move. Now, it is important to say here that people often get mixed up and talk about electrons, because we talk about electrons flowing in metals. You've got to use the right terminology in the right places. Moving on to 5.3, and we've got sodium, and we need to know how sodium conducts thermal energy. Now, a lot of this crosses over with why it conducts electricity as well, but let's take a look. 3 marks. Delocalized electrons, you can mention those. The fact that that means they are free to move gets the 2nd mark, and therefore the energy is transferred through the structure gets you to mark number 3.